Thank you, Anilji, for giving me an opportunity to welcome all. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Shri Anil Rajdan, President, Energy and Environment Foundation, and former Secretary to the Government of India, Ministry of Power. Then we have Mr. Prasanna Kumar, Chairman and Managing Director, Neyveli Lignite Corporation, one of India's leading PSUs. Then we have Mr. G.S. Rawat, Deputy Managing Director, NABARD, one of the top Indian financial institutions, which has a loan book of almost 9 lakh crores, which can be a matter of envy for anybody in the financial world. The CMDs, directors, and officials of various PSUs and private sector companies, foreign participants, domain experts, students, and Dr. Anil Garg. It is my pride and privilege to welcome you to this 2 days unique Tri-Junction conference on renewable energy, water, and waste to wealth. The conference, covering 12 sessions, over 60 speakers, and session chairs, and a host of awards by Energy and Environment Foundation for excellence in the related fields. Ladies and gentlemen, water is life. Water with food is the source of all energy in human life. Human brain, that is a component of human body, sustained by this water, food, and energy, controls complex nuclear energy and the satellites at a few lakh kilometers away. That is the power of water and energy harnessed through a proper mechanism. The energy is generated, the fuel is exhausted, and the residue is waste, which is thrown away or discharged. This is what is happening in day-to-day life. Wood, coal, oil, gas, and a host of other forms of fossil fuels have been used for getting primary and secondary energy till date. The fuel burns, CO2 escapes into atmosphere and causes global warming. More developed the economy is, more advanced the country is, more consumption of energy, and more is the contribution to global warming. Animal husbandry and paddy cultivation, even without burning, emit the second largest quantity of methane and CO2, the two deadliest greenhouse gases. But Europe is silent because of its dairy industry-based exports, and Asia is silent because of its paddy cultivation, which is a major source of staple food and exports. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 kg of rice needs 2,800 liters of water. 1 kg of sugar, end to end, from sugarcane to finished sugar, consumes 4,000 to 4,500 liters of water. In other words, exporting 1 kg of rice or sugar means we are exporting this quantity of our sweet drinking water. And all this for a short-term gain in exports at the cost of long-term damage to environment. This is despite India being a virtually water-stressed country. It is an irony of situation. On the one hand, right from Assam to Calcutta and north, right up to Rishikesh, the whole of Uttarakhand and the northeast is flooded with water, whereas the country as a whole is virtually water-stressed. Because we have only 2% of world land, 4% of world water to serve 18% of world population and 17% of cattle head of the world. global warming caused by greenhouse gases has made climate totally unpredictable. Uncertainty that always persisted about the monsoons. When and in what intensity it will rain was varying, but that was all within the framework of more or less 4 seasons of the year, defined by summer, winter, rain, autumn, spring. But today, the uncertainty of unpredictability of monsoon has increased. There can be a rain in winter, there can be a heat wave in summer, and there can be an untimely heat or rain or humidity or all the three of them together, putting the humanity, the crops, the food, and normal health at stake. The unpredictability of monsoon has two more characteristics these days, what you call the features. A, it comes all of a sudden. The intensity of rain and the intensity of heat is very high. The period or the duration is unduly long. So, unpredictable heat in quantum and duration, unreasonable, or we say undue quantity of water falling through rain and at an inappropriate time. The delayed monsoon leads to destruction of seeds, the crops which have been sown. Either they go as waste or they get delayed, which affect the food cycle and creates a food problem. The excessive heat creates food problem by not allowing the crops to grow as they should grow, and also causes the human health problems. During 1980 to 2000, in 20 years, there were 4,212 natural disasters affecting 1.19 million lives and causing $1.63 trillion loss to property. Over the next 20 years, that is from 2000 to 2020, the incidence of disasters increased to 7,348, more than 70% increase. And the loss of life increased to 4.2 million, and the loss of property increased to $2.97 trillion. Now, this is on account of natural disasters caused by global warming. Maybe some other factors, but mostly global warming. It is estimated by 2 or 3 studies that 1% increase in global temperature causes 12% loss in world GDP. Locally, this varies from 1 to 3% depending on local factors. To understand, let's look at California. In USA, California has one prolonged drought running for 2762 days during 2011 to 2019, and 1,337 days ending only in October 23. During this period, there were very strict restrictions on the use of water and penalties on the use of water for non-potable purposes. The best part is, everybody would be surprised, that at Chicago Stock Exchange, the Mercantile Bank of Chicago was dealing in water bonds, and water was being traded in papers for more than 8 months, and the trade volume was of the order of $4 billion. That is, bids are being exchanged on paper with no water in sight. That was the scarcity of water caused by the dry weather. Today, in the digital economy, chip is the center point of all devices that we use, starting from the phone to this microphone and this entire thing. Now this chip, an average economic size of chip manufacturing unit requires 50 million liters of ultra pure water per day. Similarly, mining of rare earth metals requires huge quantity of ultra pure water in large quantities. Within this water shortage, the government of India introduced in 2019 Ghar Ghar Nal Jal Yojana, under which out of 19 crore households, 14 crore households have been provided facility of water and water tap. Now, within this water shortage, 80% of water that is supplied for domestic use or corporate use except industry, only 20% is consumed, 80% goes out as wastewater through open drain or through the sewers. This water needs to be recycled, reused, recirculated, and recharged. The waste, urban waste, has both solid and liquid. The liquid waste is MSW and goes down the drain and needs to be recycled. In India, we recycle almost 30% of it, but out of that 30%, most of it is in the name because the plants are not working efficiently. They are not delivering the water of the quality which can be used for various purposes for which it is meant. In Japan, Yokohama recycles 99% of its wastewater. Israel recycles 89%. Similarly, Malaysia and Singapore also recycle most of their wastewater for various uses. Along with the wastewater, there is also solid waste. From household, you have a lot of, in institutions, schools, colleges, offices, you have a lot of waste, which contains the solid, the textile, the paper, the wooden items, and clothes, various clothes or clothes applications, some of which are like plastic and jute, plastic, jute, textiles, coconut fiber, they all can be recycled. World generates nearly 6 billion tons of waste, of which roughly 17% is recycled. In that recycled waste also lies a very rich wealth. It was estimated that during 2022, the e-waste, from the e-waste, metals worth $28 billion were recovered. The metals were copper, gold, and iron in different proportions. To be precise, copper was worth $19 billion, gold was $15 billion, and iron was worth $16 billion. This is the recovery from the electronic waste. For electronic waste, 81 countries have framed the laws for treating e-waste. 61 countries have fixed collection targets. 36 countries have fixed recycling targets. We recycle about 5%. There are a number of startups which are based on waste from animal husbandry and agriculture waste. From agriculture waste, power is generated. From animal husbandry waste, liquid fuel and gaseous fuel is extracted or generated or manufactured. Plastic waste is globally being used for road making. 1 kilometer road consumes roughly 1 ton of plastic waste on an average. 1 lakh kilometer roads are built globally using the plastic waste. In terms of recycling, 1 ton of paper recycled saves 17 trees, 2.5 barrels of oil, 32,000 liters of water, and 4.3 cubic meter of land used for landfill of the waste from the paper industry. Sessions on renewable energy will discuss a whole spectrum of renewable sources, their availability, feasibility, reliability, sustainability, commercial viability of different sources like solar photovoltaic based on various technologies, solar CSP, wind energy, onshore, offshore, waves energy, hydropower based on reservoir technology, based on run-of-the-river technology, nuclear, green hydrogen, nuclear, and other alternative sources of renewable energy, like bioenergy, bio-CNG, biofuel, bio-aviation fuel. While maintaining the tempo of economic development and growth and rising human aspirations of urbanization and comfortable transport with economy and speed, these generation of fuels from waste, animal husbandry waste, is a mandatory or rather a imperative. The Energy and Environment Foundation also recognizes and honors various individuals and institutions' effort in achieving the best in terms of economy, efficiency, commercial, and technical excellence in their respective fields by way of conferring Global Excellence Awards on them. This year, too, wait for the exciting program of Energy and Efficiency Global Excellence Award distribution. Thank you.